Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Yasodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana. Yasodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Banachari. Yamuna Tira Banachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Yasodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Banachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Vajikacharya Stotara Satashishi Maharaj Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON BBD Founder Charya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Gaudiya Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Navadip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai, Ganga Jamuna Maya Ki Jai, Tulasi Devi Maharani Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Brihat Madanga Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. Okay. So I'd like to start off by thanking everybody here who's stuck around for the class. Thank you. It's nice to have a few live and in-person people to speak to as opposed to just the internet. So thank you. And I hope I could say something that's going to be interesting and beneficial for you. So Lord Nityananda is Balaram. Balaram is the first expansion of Krishna, Lord Sri Krishna, who is none other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna is the original cause of everything, the origin of everything and the cause of all causes. The idea of being that, according to the Vedic picture of reality, the beginning of everything is actually an eternally cognizant and powerful personality. And so and his name is Krishna. So Lord Nityananda is an expansion, an expansion of this original Supreme Personality of Godhead. So an expansion it's not exactly another person. See, just like, I'll give you an example. Like we're all sitting here now, okay? So there's you, and you. You're three different people. You see? But if right over here, if Krishna was sitting there, and next to Krishna was Balaram, and next to Balaram was Lord Nityananda, since I mentioned those three names, and you're looking over there and you're seeing them, and it looks like, hey, there's three different people. Well, I mean, there's a sense in which, yeah, they're three different bodies, but they're the same person. That's the difference. You know, you are actually three different people. But if Krishna, Balaram, and Lord Nityananda were sitting right over there, right next to each other, there's a sense in which they're the same person. You see, that's the difference between, you know, different people and an expansion. It's kind of like, to give it an analogy, if a famous actor, you know, put out like a costume he used in one movie when he was playing the role of the President of the United States, and next to that he put his costume as when he played the part of a cowboy, and next to that he played the part of when he was like an inmate in prison or something like that. You know, he's the same person. It was different roles, okay? But he's the same in the same body. But he's just, you know, he assumes these different costumes and, you know, different makeups and everything like that when he's in the different roles. But, you know, he's the same. But Krishna is able to actually expand into different bodies, but he's the same person. Okay? So, next question is, why does Krishna expand? What's the point of the whole thing? Why does he do that? Well, why does a famous movie producer produce a movie? I mean, one obvious reason is they want to make a lot of money by entertaining people, you know. So, and they've many successful examples of that. But some of them, maybe not all of them, but some of them, they have another motive. They want to communicate a message. You know, they have a higher purpose. You know, it's not just they want to make the money. You know, some of the better ones, let's say, they want to communicate a message. So in the same way, Krishna is expanding in these different forms as Balaram, as Lord Narayan, as Lord Vishnu, and so many different Leela, you know, expansions, but not only for the purpose of his own enjoyment. You know, he's not that type of God, you know. He's not like the type of God that just kind of cruises around on his multi-billion-dollar yacht and doesn't care about what's happening to the rest of the world. No, he's got a higher purpose, just like that, you know, the analogy, just like the movie director, producer, and has a higher purpose. Krishna has a higher purpose in expanding in these different forms. What is that higher purpose? That higher purpose is Krishna is trying to get the souls who have left his association, who have left the spiritual world, who have deviated from pure devotional service, which is what goes on in the spiritual world. He's trying to help them get back to that. He's trying to help all the souls that have fallen away from pure devotional service get back to pure devotional service. So that's his motive. And notice how I use the word help as opposed to attract, because most times he does that by attracting, you know, like like tonight's story, Lord Nityananda. He was a very attractive personality, and generally Krishna, his expansions are attracting souls back to pure devotional service, so they can go back to the spiritual world. With one exception, Kalki. There's an avatar of Krishna called Kalki, who comes at the end of this age called the Kali Yuga, and he doesn't try to attract so much at all, really. He just punishes the remaining souls at that time. But the motive is the same. The motive is to help those souls progress in spiritual life so that they can return to pure devotional service and ultimately go back to Godhead. So, now, I'm going to read something which will give us a little idea, better idea of what I was just hopefully what I was just trying to describe. What Krishna's motivation is, what Krishna's psychology is in all these different expansions. I'm going to read a paragraph from the Srimad Bhagavatam, 8th canto, chapter 3, text 17. And it goes like this. It says, "Only Krishna can deliver us from this material existence. Indeed, he is always trying to deliver us. He is within our hearts and is not at all inattentive. His only aim is to deliver us from material life. It is not that he becomes attentive to us when we offer prayers to him. Even before we offer our prayers, he incessantly tries to deliver us. He is never lazy in regard to our deliverance. It is the causeless mercy of the Supreme Lord that he always tries to bring us back home, back to Godhead. God is liberated and he tries to make us liberated. Okay, so this is what you just heard. That's pretty positive, right? I mean, that's pretty strong words. It's pretty positive. And there's Krishna, we just finished explaining before, he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's all-powerful. He's all-knowing. And here we're hearing a description from these, this is basically what's being described here, is we're hearing how he's all-loving. Listen, I mean, I'll just emphasize, certain phrases again. He's always trying to deliver us. He's within our hearts. He's not at all inattentive. His only aim is to deliver us. His only aim within this material world is to deliver us from material life. He doesn't become attentive only when we offer prayers to him. Even before we offer prayers, he's incessantly trying to deliver us. He's never lazy in regard to our deliverance. So my question is, what's holding up the works? What's holding up the show? Here you have the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we're hearing here from this pure devotee that the only thing he's really trying to do is deliver us. Even before we're interested in getting delivered, he's trying to deliver us. He's not waiting for us to start praying to him. Even before we're praying to him, he's scheming or whatever he's doing to try to figure out how to deliver us. So what's the problem? Why isn't more people getting delivered? Well, it goes on to say, God is liberated and he tries to make us liberated. But although he is constantly trying, we refuse to accept his instructions. But Prabhupada goes on to say, but he has not become angry. Not yet, anyway. He could. He's reserving the right. He has not become angry. But that's the glitch right there. It's not from Krishna's side. The problem is not coming from Krishna's side, because we just heard all this, these things. We heard about his mentality, his motivation here. The problem is from our side. We refuse to accept his instructions. So, it has to be reciprocal. I'm going to try to illustrate this point a little bit by relating an anecdote, a little story from my own experience, okay? So back, I don't know, maybe it was, 5-10 years ago, I was trying to purchase a van for the temple, for the devotees to do Sankirtan in. So I was dealing with different, salesmen and different places, that sell vans. So I just remember that something that one of them said to me. We were kind of talking about a van and discussing, if it was the right van and the price and everything. Anyway, he said to me, I can't remember, he called me Jeff or my legal name or whatever, but he said, please tell me, what do I have to do to earn your business? In a nice way. He said, what do I have to do to earn your business? And I thought to myself, yeah, that's really intelligent. That was a really intelligent question, because, the fact of the matter was that, yeah, I was in the driver's seat. Not yet, but I was, figuratively, I was in the driver's seat, and I had control of the whole situation. He has to do something. He has to please me by his service, by his product, in some way, so that I will give him the business. See, so this is an analogy. So in the same way, Krishna, as Krishna himself, as Lord Chaitanya, as Lord Nityananda, he is looking, he's trying to deliver us. We just heard that. I just read you that, paragraph there. He's trying to deliver us. So we have to do something. We have to be desiring to earn his approval from our side. You see, from Krishna's side, he's trying. And from our side, we have to have this attitude of, how can I earn the approval of Krishna or one of his expansions, so that I will get the mercy like that. So we have to be desiring like that, actually praying like that. We are already. The Hare Krishna mantra has no literal definition, but figuratively, Prabhupada told us it means, "Oh my Lord, please engage me in your service." And if you really analyze that, it's just another way of saying what I just said. "Oh my Lord, please give me the intelligence. How can I conduct my life in such a way that I can earn your approval?" See, because once we earn the approval of Krishna, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then we're all set. So, how do we do that? How do we earn the approval of Lord Nityananda? Today is Lord Nityananda's appearance day, so keep it very practical. How do we earn the approval of Lord Nityananda? Well, it's stated in the scriptures, in the Shastra, that the Guru is a representative. The Guru is the representative of Lord Nityananda. So, if we can please the spiritual master, a bona fide spiritual master, then Lord Nityananda is pleased. So, every morning here at this temple, we sing a song at our first service called Mangal Arti. And one of the stanzas in the song is that by the mercy of the spiritual master, one receives the mercy of Krishna. Without the grace of the spiritual master, no one can make any advancement. So the idea is that if you please the spiritual master, then the Supreme Personality of Godhead is pleased. So the way we please the spiritual master is by following his instructions. Very simple. That's the general principle, and the specific instructions are things like, chanting Hare Krishna. That's an instruction. We have certain rules and regulations that we follow, and by following those rules and regulations, we're pleasing the spiritual master. By associating nicely with other devotees, learning how to associate nicely with other devotees, by trying to help other people become Krishna conscious. These are all ways that we can please the spiritual master. And by doing that, we're demonstrating, and this is an important word, demonstrating our eagerness to earn the approval. In other words, it's not like by doing those things that we're, how would you say it? Those activities are demonstrating to the spiritual master and to Krishna that we really want that. We really want his favor. We want his grace. We want his mercy, like that. And but that. It's not mechanical. In other words, it's not like just if we do those things that you're guaranteed, okay, now you're going to get them. No, but it sort of makes us, it attracts the attention. It's a relationship. It attracts the attention of the spiritual master and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and then they're more inclined to bestow their favor upon us. So, yeah, so getting back to that, the paragraph I read. So basically, we have to stop refusing to accept the instructions. We have to just become a little bit, what's the word? Less stubborn, and be prepared to just actually, try the process. Read the books, understand the philosophy, try the chanting. Try to follow the regulative principles. Try to help other people become Krishna conscious. Try to participate in the devotional activities like that. Just by doing those things, very simply, we can get the mercy of Lord Nityananda, and that's the really important thing today. Today is Lord Nityananda's appearance day. We're all eager to get the mercy of Lord Nityananda. That's the way to do it. By pleasing the Guru, because the Guru is a representative of Lord Nityananda. And perhaps the best example of this was demonstrated in a pastime, the most famous pastime in which Lord Nityananda was involved when he was personally present here on earth, and that took place about over 500 years ago. Lord Nityananda was, like the brother of Lord Chaitanya, and he had a partner. He actually was engaged in the missionary activities. He used to go out himself personally to try to deliver conditioned souls, engage them in devotional service. So he had a partner named Haridas Thakur, and they used to go out. They used to go door to door, and when people would answer the door, they would fall down at their feet and beg them to chant the Hare Krishna mantra. So this was their program. And so one day they happened to come upon these two brothers who were formerly very elevated Brahmins, but they became degraded, and they became total debauchees, dacoits like that, men of very bad character. So when Lord Nityananda saw them, he thought, oh, let's try to deliver them. Let's try to get them to engage in devotional service. Because if we could save them, then our master, Lord Chaitanya, will be glorified. Just everybody will think very highly of him, that, wow, the mercy of Lord Chaitanya is so great that even these two rascals, their names were Jagai and Madai, even these two rascals will become delivered. So they thought, well, we'll give it a try. So they approached them. And when they approached them, they weren't appreciative. These two fellows, they weren't appreciative at all. And they started chastising them and, threatening to beat them and actually chasing them. And they were able to run off. And if I'm remembering the pastime correctly, but they tried a second time. They actually, Lord Nityananda and Haridas Thakur tried a second time. And during the second attempt, one of those two brothers took a piece of shard, which is like a broken piece from a pot, a clay pot. He took a broken piece of clay pot, and he threw it at Lord Nityananda, and it hit him in the head, and it caused him to bleed. Right? Basically, he was attempting to kill him, more or less. At close range, threw this big piece of clay pot, with a jagged edge and everything, and wham, hit him right in the head, and he started to bleed. And but Lord Nityananda didn't become angry. He didn't become angry. He just said, okay, you've struck me, you've injured me, but still, I request you, please, I forgive you. Just chant Hare Krishna. And these two brothers were kind of like always in a drunken stupor, basically. They were never totally sober. So one of them, the one who hit him with the pot, he was ready to kind of finish the job, so to speak. He was reaching for another piece or something. And his brother had the good sense to realize, something touched his brother, and his brother, wait a second, hang on. He grabbed his name was Jugga. He grabbed the other one. He grabbed Madai, and he restrained him. And he said, hang on. Wait, this guy's not ordinary, just chill out. And so he was restraining him. Meantime, word got back to Lord Chaitanya that this was going on. And he immediately came to the scene. He was prepared to kill both of them. He was prepared to just kind of finish them both off, because they had injured his dear devotee, Lord Nityananda, who was just coming there to try to preach to them and help them spiritually. And here they are attacking, at least one of them was attacking him. So Lord Chaitanya was prepared to, as I said, finish him off, kill him basically. But Lord Nityananda, he restrained Lord Chaitanya. He implored Lord Chaitanya, he reminded Lord Chaitanya, he said, you, in this incarnation, you have come to deliver all the fallen souls. So please, don't spare these two very fallen souls. Anyway, because Lord Nityananda requested it, Lord Chaitanya agreed. Otherwise, Lord Chaitanya would have finished them off. So on the request of Lord Nityananda, they were spared, but Lord Chaitanya made a condition. He made a condition. He said, okay, we'll forgive you for what you've done, because, Lord Nityananda is begging for your, deliverance here. But on the condition that from this day onwards, that you don't engage in these sinful activities that you've been, so well known for: illicit sex, meat eating, intoxication, gambling. So they made a promise, that they wouldn't, that they changed their ways, so to speak. And they did. And the deal was that if they, after making that promise, if they followed through on it, if they behaved like gentlemen and Vaishnavas from that point onwards, all their past, they'd be forgiven for all their past sinful activities. And so they did, they followed through. And from that day onwards, from that moment onwards, they became devotees. They actually became very prominent devotees, and they built a bathing ghat along the Ganges River for the devotees to kind of, facilitate the devotees' devotional activities. And so that's an example. Here are these two men. They were so fallen, but by the mercy of Lord Nityananda, they were delivered. See, the bar has really been lowered. When Krishna was present here on the planet 5,000 years ago, in the Bhagavad Gita, it's stated, there's a verse in the 7th chapter, it goes, Yesham tvantagatam papam jananam punyakarmanam te dvanva mohanir mukta bhajante mam drudavrataha. That only those who've acted piously in this life and in previous lives, and whose sinful activities are completely eradicated, can engage in devotional service with determination. So that was the criterion that was set by Krishna, that you had to be engaged in pious activities, and your sinful activities had to be completely eradicated. Sinful activities you performed in this life and in previous lives, and then you're eligible to take to devotional service. But here we see from this pastime of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda with Jagai and Madai, that no, they just had to be nothing close to that. They weren't anything close to that. But by the, incredible mercy of Lord Nityananda, they got the opportunity to take up devotional service and be delivered from reactions to all their past sinful activities. So the bar is really being lowered at this, and that was 500 years ago, and it's even lowered more now. So we should, meditate on this and really try to take advantage of this incredible opportunity that we have to engage in devotional service, and in this one lifetime, wrap it up. We've been here in the material world. I was listening to one lecture that our spiritual master was giving on the Chaitanya Charitamrita way back in 1967, and he was saying we've had crores and crores of births in this material world. So a crore is 10 million. Oh no, actually what he said in this particular lecture, he said many, many Brahma's lives have passed, and still we are conditioned. So how many is many, many? I mean, I have no idea, but Brahma lives for 311 trillion years. Because if you do the math, it's kind of, we've been in this material world for millions of lifetimes. Right in the Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada says, due to the dust of material contamination acquired from many, many millions of births. So we've been here for millions of years, transmigrating from one material body to the other. And now we're being offered this opportunity to engage in devotional service, and in one short human lifetime, as I said, wrap it up, finish our business and get out of this material world and go back to the spiritual world to be with Krishna eternally in Goloka Vrindavan or some Vaikuntha planet or whatever. So we should really, take advantage of that. And the process is being made, as we said, the bar has really been lowered. The process is being made really easy. Chant Hare Krishna, 16 rounds. Takes about 2 hours, really, not even sometimes. 4 rules and regulations: no illicit sex, no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling. Not that difficult, especially if you come and you start associating with devotees. It's really doable. Okay? Now, upon hearing that, you might be sitting here and hearing that, and you might be thinking, you know what? I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I could really commit to doing that. I'm being honest with myself. I could try, but I don't know if I could pull it off. No problem. Try anyway. Do it anyway. I'll tell you why. There's a very nice verse, which I've heard Prabhupada use in many, many classes he's given. He quotes this verse from the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. This is Narada Muni speaking. He says, Tyakva svadharmam chananam bhajam harer. Bhajan apakvo ta patet tato yadi. Yatra kva babadram abura mushakim kovarta apto bhajatam svadharmata. One who has forsaken his material occupations to engage in devotional service of the Lord may sometimes fall down while in an immature stage. In other words, this is referring to what I was just talking about. That somebody might, take up devotional service, and they might not be able to follow through. They might deviate, might fall down, might not be able to keep chanting or keep following the rules and regulations. So what is the status of that person? Okay, well, here it comes. It says here, that person may fall down in an immature stage. Narada Muni says, there's no danger of being unsuccessful. No danger of being unsuccessful. And I'll explain that in a second. And then he goes on to say, on the other hand, a non-devotee, though fully engaged in occupational duties, does not gain anything. See? So in other words, the point that's being made here is that this human form of life is actually, it's meant for making advancement in spiritual life. It's meant for that purpose. It's the opportunity. See? So what Narada Muni is saying here is that if you engage in devotional service and you, for some unfortunate reason you can't follow through, oh, it's okay. You're not a loser. Because the way it works is that, say you take up Krishna consciousness, devotional service right now in this lifetime, and you become 11% Krishna conscious. And that's it. That's as far as you get. You only become 11% Krishna conscious. Well, when you die and you come back again. When you come back again in your next lifetime, you're guaranteed to come back as a human being. And at some point in that next human lifetime, you'll come in contact with devotional service again. You'll be attracted to devotional service again, and you'll take up from where you left off. You don't start from scratch. The 11% that you accomplished in your last lifetime, you'll take up from that point. You see, and it keeps going like that. So, but on the other hand, say somebody in this lifetime, they don't take up devotional service. They're very successful materially. They become a multi-billionaire or whatever, and they're very successful and they're enjoying all over the place, but they don't do anything in devotional service. And then they die. They're not even, what to speak of, carrying on in the next lifetime. They're not even guaranteed another human body in their next lifetime. Right? See, so that's the difference. And that's why Narada Muni is saying that even if you're not confident that you're going to be able to follow properly from throughout your entire lifetime, just give it a go. Take it up. Try it anyway. Because whatever progress you make, it's like a permanent deposit in your spiritual bank account. Whereas if you don't take up devotional service and you just pursue success in different material fields like that, no gain. Your gain is only the flickering temporary pleasure that you experience while you're doing those things. There's no permanent gain. See? So, yeah, this is something that we have to really kind of meditate on. That this is the only auspicious thing to do with one's lifetime. Try to make advancement in devotional service. Today is, as I said, Lord Nityananda's appearance day. This is Lord Nityananda is actually even considered more merciful than Lord Chaitanya. And that one pastime I just narrated illustrates that point. Lord Chaitanya was prepared to kill Jaganmata. Lord Nityananda intervened and said, no, spare them. This Jagai, one of the two brothers, he actually saved me. He restrained Madai from, throwing another piece of clay pot at me and killing me. So, it wasn't a very great activity. It wasn't like he performed some wonderful, pious act. It's just any decent human being would have done that. But just on the strength of that, they both got delivered. See, so Lord Nityananda is very, very merciful, and today is his appearance day. So we should, pray to Lord Nityananda right there on the altar. Please help me. Give me the intelligence, how to earn your approval, earn your favor. This is the purpose of the human form of life, to do that, to somehow or another attain shelter at the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. So I'll stop there. I think I'm supposed to stop the class is supposed to end at 6:30, so I've left about 15 minutes for questions, or if somebody has a pastime of Lord Nityananda that they'd like to share with us, please feel free. Go ahead. This is, we got 15 minutes to kind of interact because, yeah, Amal Bhakta Maharaj, please. We'll give him a microphone here. We're going to give you a microphone. Hang on. Yeah. Amal Bhakta Maharaj, before he speaks, I want to say something. He started off his devotional career by producing an incredible narration of the pastimes of Jagai and Madai. And if any of you ever heard that, I hope you've heard it. If you haven't, it's probably on the YouTube someplace, but it's incredible. It's wonderful. Yeah, please.
Yeah, it's a horrible thing that's just happened to me. What I wanted to say, I have forgotten completely. Oh. But wait a minute. Give it another 5 seconds.
Okay.
Well, not so fast. Oh, is that better? Okay, thank you. Okay. For those of you who do not know what an appearance day is, how many know what an appearance day is? Raise your hand. No speculation. You actually know. Raise your hand. Yeah, I thought so. Many of you don't, and that's okay. And that's why I took the mic. An appearance day is like it's a birthday. When you have a birthday, you're appearing into the world from another world, so to speak. So whenever he was saying during the appearance day of so-and-so, he meant during the birthday at that time, okay? So when that comes up again, you'll know exactly what it's meant. There were some other things, but let somebody else speak at this time. Thank you very much for your kind listening.
Yeah. Anybody have some, Sachi, you have a pastime you want to share with everybody? Got a microphone there? Good.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, did you have your hand raised? Shake up? Sure.
Could you kindly tell us more about the mood that we hear in regards to Lord Nityananda, specifically in regards to, you know, the effort to save souls, to extend the mercy of God, to save. I mean, you already spoke about it, but in the context perhaps of 2024, among, you know, the Vaishnavas of today in America, how do we extend the Lord Nityananda's mercy even further into, you know, Los Angeles?
Okay, well, I mean, our spiritual, as I mentioned during the class, that the spiritual master is the representative of Lord Nityananda, and our spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, has given us different programs to spread the mercy of Lord Nityananda. One of them is distributing his books. One of his books, the Srimad Bhagavatam. You know, we go out in public places and we approach people and we try to get them to take one of these books so that if they read it, they'll be inspired. You know, Prabhupada was empowered by Lord Nityananda to touch people's hearts with the message of Krishna consciousness. I mean, that's how many of us became devotees. Actually, raise your hand if you became a devotee as a result of reading one of Srila Prabhupada's books. A lot of hands have just gone up. So that's one very important program, distributing the books of Srila Prabhupada. Some of us go out daily to do that. And actually, did we meet you on the campus today? Yesterday. Where was that again? Cal State Fulton. Yeah, right. We met you at Cal State Fulton, and here you are today. Because you read a book? Okay, here we go. These two young people here, we met them at Cal State Fulton. Yes, it was a very rainy day. And you got the book previously though, right? Okay, we got a whole group here. See, it's a proof. The books are potent. You know, people get these books, they read them, and they get inspired, and they come to the temple. So that's one program. Another program is we go out and chant in public. You know, it's called Harinam. And, you know, people see the chanting, they hear it, and also they become attracted by that. You know, it's powerful. People have become devotees as a result of, you know, seeing devotees chanting, hearing devotees chanting. It's also a good thing to do in conjunction with distributing books. How I began distributing books is I used to go out on a chanting party, and I just, after chanting a while, I just used to be looking at who's standing around looking. You know, a lot of people just walk right by. You know, that doesn't get them. But there's some people that they stop and they look. So I would look for those people, and then I'd approach them and with a book and see if I could get them to, and they would be sitting ducks, so to speak. They would be very easy to distribute a book to, you know, because they're attracted. So that was my indication, you know. So that's also a very powerful program. And then the other program is prasadam distribution. You know, all the in about, let's see, about a half hour, a little bit more than a half hour, we're going to serve out a feast. It's not just vegetarian food that we're serving out. All the food here is offered to Krishna with love and devotion, and it gets transformed. It takes on a spiritual quality. You know, when devotees cook with love and devotion for Krishna, those ordinary ingredients get transformed and they become spiritually powerful ingredients. And just by eating this, we call it prasadam. Prasadam is a Sanskrit word. It means the mercy of the Supreme Lord. So the idea is that just by eating that, what looks like, you know, to an uneducated observer, looks like ordinary food, looks like ordinary vegetable curry or something like that. But just by eating that prasadam, you get purified in your consciousness. It actually gives you spiritual purification. So that's a really powerful program. And that's why we have this restaurant right next door to this building. There's Govinda's buffet. It's for that purpose, because some people, it's, you know, might be, they're not so attracted to read the book and understand the philosophy. They're not even so attracted to the chanting, perhaps, but they love the food. And that's a start. And actually, our spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, said, on many occasions, not just once, but on many occasions, he said, devotional service begins with the tongue. That sounds strange, right? And even he said that. He would say it, and he would say, that sounds strange, right? Yeah, but the tongue has two functions. One is vibrating, you know, speaking, producing sound, and the other is tasting. So Prabhupada would go on to say that if you just engage your tongue in these two things, tasting, prasadam, you know, food that's been offered to Krishna in love and devotion, and using your tongue, producing Krishna conscious sound. You know, chanting Hare Krishna, talking about Krishna, preaching about Krishna. If you just engage your tongue in those two ways, the result of that will be you become Krishna conscious. Just by those two simple things. He used to say, take a vow. You know, take a vow that I'm just going to, from this moment onwards, I'm just going to only eat Krishna prasadam, and I'll try to only use my tongue in the service of Krishna, chanting Hare Krishna, talking about Krishna like that. And he said, just by those two things, one becomes Krishna conscious. There's actually a verse in I think it's the Padma Purana. It goes, Atak Shri Krishna Namadi Nabhaved Gurayam Indire Sevan Mukhe Jivados Svayam Eva Sparatyada. That Krishna cannot be understood by the Prabhupada uses translate the blunt material senses, our gross material senses. But he's understood by Seva and Mukhi, devotional service, beginning with the tongue, and he reveals himself. That's how it works. So that's how the whole process works, actually. We have to try to please Krishna by our devotional service, and then when he's pleased, he reveals himself to us. You can't figure Krishna out. It's not like, you know, if Albert Einstein tried to become a devotee, you might say, oh yeah, it'll be easy for him. He's so smart, no. Unless he does the same thing as all the others, unless he chants Hare Krishna and takes prasadam, just go right past him. It'll go right over his head. Krishna's not understood by any like intellectual process. He's understood by devotional service. He's understood by the person who surrenders and engages in devotional service, and then Krishna reveals himself. There's a nice verse in the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, to those who are constantly devoted and worship me with love, I give them the intelligence by which they can come to me. And then he goes on to say, out of compassion for them, I who am dwelling within their heart, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. So that's how it works. We have to try to please Krishna by this devotional service, and then Krishna will reveal himself to us. It doesn't mean you don't have to be like a scholar, a famous person, a rich person. There's no material thing that, can invoke that. Only sincere devotional service. Anyway, Any other questions or comments? I didn't want to, yeah. Microphone, Tamil Bhakti.
Before I even make my comment, I'd like to mention that Bhrgupati, many of you don't know, that I think for the past 40 or 50 years, he's been out on the street giving out these books, putting them in people's hands, whether they like it or not. And then he explains how merciful he's being to give them these books. They're not even, he hasn't even asked them for a penny yet. So he tells them what the book is about. They get interested in it because it's helpful, it's beneficial. It helps them on the health level, mental level, and various levels that they had before never experienced. So he does that every day. And thousands of books go out of his hands. He has helped so many thousands and thousands of people who got these books, and he never thinks anything like it's anything great or wonderful. It's a service to God. Well, when you do something for the Lord and he's doing something for you which is so much even greater, you don't think much of yourself. And that's the way he is. He's doing a loving service for the Supreme Lord. So we should applaud him. Please, go ahead. Come on. I'll be good. No.
I didn't pay him to say that.
So, nobody knows that you're not just a person sitting in a white suit and talking Krishna philosophy. There's so much behind you, and I wanted to bring people up to speed that you are an actually amazing person, that you can go on. How old are you? What is your age?
73.
73. Okay. And I'm 91.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. I get a lot of help. This temple is really a great temple to be in, to distribute books. Our temple president is the BBT trustee for North America. And, it's incredibly supportive here. We have the restaurant and the gift shop. There are profit centers. Devotees who distribute books here, they're not under pressure to make a lot of money, from the activity. We're just told, go out there and be ambassadors of goodwill. It's such a beautiful, consciousness to try to be in that, and that's because of the, the expert management of our temple president, who, as I said, is simultaneously a BBT trustee. That's the all our preachers, all the I'm not the only book distributor. There's like at least half a dozen or a dozen of us, and we're going out, and that's our mood. Trying to be ambassadors of goodwill, give people this knowledge as much as possible. So once again, I've had a lot of help, a lot of support. Somebody else had something they wanted to say? Okay, well, it's 6:20. Oh, Sachino, you want to say something?
Well,
yeah. Please.
There is a word that we usually use, mercy. Everybody's looking for mercy. And obviously, when it comes to mercy, we always think Krishna. But in the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition, it is said that actually Lord Chaitanya is more merciful than Krishna, which is no different. Is Krishna now in 500 years ago as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But then it goes further down more. It says that actually Lord Nityananda, whom we are celebrating today, is more merciful than Lord Chaitanya. And then it goes more, saying that actually, Srila Prabhupada, who is a representative of Lord Nityananda, is very, very merciful too. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be here. So, like you were saying before, when Krishna came, he said, Sarva Dharma Pariyaya just came and he was killing. Like in the Battle of Kurukshetra, all the demons and demoniac people. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, it's different. He's just freely giving the holy name to anyone. But Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu one time told Lord Nityananda, he said, I want you to go, this is 500 years ago, I want you to go to Bengal and spread the glories of the holy name. And by the way, there are certain things that you can do that I cannot do. So what was that? the famous pastime that you just mentioned about Yagai and Madai, those two personalities who were very, very sinful. So Lord Chaitanya was super merciful that he gave them mercy. And Srila Prabhupada made that, that also sacrifice on austerity to come to the West to give us this knowledge too. So we're also very kind and merciful, grateful to Srila Prabhupada that he's given us this.
Thank you. Okay, so
Hare
we could,
Krishna.
yeah? Anything else? Okay. So we could end there. I just once again like to thank everybody for coming in general, and thank you for staying for the class. I hope you heard something that was encouraging to you in your spiritual lives. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the program. We're going to, about a minute from now or less, we're going to start the kirtan. And then after that, as our Naikatma Prabhu said, if everybody just goes across the street, those for the newcomers, we'll be serving out a feast down there. And I'm sure you'll enjoy that. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Have a great evening. Thank you.